Hi all, welcome and welcome back to my channel. Police in Kentucky held a joint press conference to update the public as their search for 32-year-old Joseph Couch continues. Couch has been named a suspect after 5 people were shot as they drove on I-75 in London, Kentucky on Saturday, September 7th. Shortly after police responded to the chaotic scene near exit 49, they say they located an abandoned vehicle belonging to Couch, and as their search for him expanded to a wooded area close by, they say they located the weapon they believe he used to shoot at the cars on the freeway. After investigating what they found, they obtained information that Couch purchased that weapon the morning of the shootings, along with approximately 1,000 rounds of ammunition, all of which police say they found abandoned with the weapon in the woods. All of the victims of the shooting on I-75 in Kentucky are expected to survive their injuries, but they can still use our prayers to help them get through. They experienced a horrific nightmare, and it's not over yet. Police held this update as their last update of the day today because they're concluding their manhunt for the night. They say they believe he's hiding out in a heavily wooded area that's filled with trees that he can hide in and behind. And because it's heavy with brush to the point where machetes need to be used to cut through it, visibility is very bad, and it's not safe for officers to continue to search in the dark. So they've announced that they will continue their manhunt at daylight and keep searching until Couch is captured. They held quite a long joint press conference that I'll play for you shortly, but as much information as they shared out, they were able to offer little to reassure the residents of London, Kentucky, and surrounding areas that they're safe, because they may not be. Police say they have no idea where Couch is, and he has a military background, so they don't know how long he's able to hide out and survive in the woods. So they're advising that the residents in the area stay vigilant, lock their doors, and watch their security cameras if they have them. They're also advising residents to make sure they keep their phones charged at all times in case they need to call for help. They're talking school closures to keep the children safe, and they're saying everything that can be done at this point is being done. More police patrols will be out and present in the area, but they want the public to understand that Couch may still be armed, and he is still considered dangerous. We need to pray for the people of Kentucky, who are probably afraid to close their eyes and go to sleep tonight as they start their second night of not knowing where Joseph Couch is. This is terrifying, and there's little the residents in the area can do but wait for more updates from police. Here's the latest joint update from the agencies working on the manhunt. It's the most important information to listen to at this time, but I also recorded 2 other press conferences held earlier in the day that I'll play after the joint update, just in case you want to catch up on the manhunt throughout the day. I'll be praying for the victims of this horrific nightmare, and for the residents of Kentucky who are still in it. I hope Couch is found fast, before he can hurt anyone else. Thank you for watching, and here's the latest police update, followed by updates from earlier in the day.
Okay, I think I've seen enough of you folks since Saturday, and I just want to tell you how much that we appreciate what you're doing, getting the word out about this. We couldn't do it without you, and we do need to get the information out. So what we decided to do is have a joint press conference, and I appreciate y'all coming tonight, and bring all the stakeholders in and let each person and each agency tell you what we are doing to capture this suspect and to get our community back. So without any further ado, where's the shirt? All yours.
Okay, guys, I want to thank you for being here today. You guys have done a wonderful job. First and foremost, we want to our sympathy and the prayers to these victims. Please, everyone, if they will, remember these families. Remember all our law enforcement agencies. I'm going to try to give you a brief synopsis. I know you got a lot of questions on the containment, why we're doing this, what we're doing. We will open it up later after we have a couple more spokesmen, and hopefully we can answer your questions. We will stay on track with, this is open investigation, so there may be some things that we can't answer. We will try our best to get you an answer, but we may not be able to answer it at this time. We'll stay strictly with what we got. We're not going to try to deal, with the what ifs and could it be's, and we're going to try to give you actual, factual what we're doing. Once again, I appreciate each and every one of y'all for being here and putting the interest in getting this out to our public. It's very tragic. This is something that, you don't foresee, but it has happened, and I can kind of tell you the way that we're handling the situation. As you can see, we have many partners here in law enforcement, the Kentucky State Police, who have just done a wonderful job with us. They provided manpower, resources, whatever, doing a great job with us. We have our partners here, county attorneys, legal team, Commonwealth attorneys, and along with the London City Police Agency, represented by the mayor, chief, and assistant chief, FBI, and ATF. So with this group here, surely we can get you some answers. Yesterday, as you all are aware, I'm sure you went through, we did have a shooter at the exit 49. There have been 5 victims, that's confirmed. I think they're all going to be okay. It's nothing, I don't think we're going to have no fatalities. Just keep, like I say, when I open, keep all of them in your prayers. I don't think there'll be no fatalities. But we have got, there was a shooter. It appears that he was using an AR-15 as the primary weapon. We have located evidence at the scene. We know where the shots was fired from, his location, some cartridges, a gun, and a vehicle. Everyone that we have, names that we've come in contact with has been interviewed, and we have just, everyone together with the joint effort has done just an outstanding job with this, and I'm so very proud of all of them. Also want to give a special recognition to some people that are law enforcement. They wear down, but we have more coming in, and the dispatchers at Laurel Dispatch has just been phenomenal. They took the initial call. They have stood with us. They've took all the calls. Of course, we got a lot of calls that we see this guy here. We see him here. We have checked all those calls. We do not know that he has left that area. That's why we're concentrating on this exit 49. We've had calls on all parts of the county. We've had calls out of the county. Those have been followed up, and none of that is so. So what I'm going to do at this time, I know the big question is what are we doing and the containment. Why are we at exit 49? I have my lead investigator, Detective Richard, or Commander Richard Dalrymple. He's the lead investigator on this, and also he's the commander of SRT team. And at this time, I'll let him come up and kind of explain what we're doing and the containment. Hopefully that will answer some questions. And then after he speaks, we'll open it up, and if you guys have questions, we'll try to get you answers.
Thank you, Sheriff. So I'm going to address what we did up to tonight, and then I'll tell you the steps that we have taken this evening. Yesterday, when the shooting occurred about 5:30. By the time we pinned down the vehicle and formed a pretty good theory of what happened, it was close to dark. That terrain at exit 49, where we believe the shots had come from, very unforgiving terrain, not a safe place to put people in the dark searching for a needle in a haystack. So we formed a perimeter last night at exit 49. We had a counter sniper team there all night long. We did not continue actively searching. We just contained it last night. We waited for daylight in order to approach it again and see if we could locate the actual crime scene. We went back this morning. We took a tactical team up on the mountain, and we located 3 different sites where there was evidence. As the sheriff said, we located where we are now certain that the shots were fired from. We have searched that area all day long. And at some time this afternoon, I don't know exactly what time we did it, we have asked the KSP to step in and take over the manhunt and run the manhunt for us because we have exhausted the personnel we had available to do it. We will continue the criminal investigation throughout in conjunction with the FBI, ATF, the city, everyone here. But we at this point have turned the manhunt over to the Kentucky State Police, and we will be assisting them moving forward in that regard. That's it as far as the containment is concerned.
And I would like to say, to the residents, I think a question is, you guys quit at night. What's to say, this guy's not moving on the ground at night? Well, he may be. Last night, we're not going to send deputies, troopers, FBI agents, or whatever in walking through the woods because we do know this guy is armed, supposedly armed. And that's why, he could be sitting, and, we're not going to be sitting ducks in the woods. But we did have snipers that was on point that stayed at scene all night last night looking at the ridge where the shots was fired from. And I can guarantee you one thing, we're doing aggressive patrols. I spoke with the KSP Public Affairs Officer, Scotty, over here, and he says, they have like 20 units that's going to be in the area on patrol tonight. The Sheriff's Office has patrol units. The city has patrol units. We've had numerous outside agencies that's come in to tell us. So when we say, these efforts cease at night, it's just for the safety of those that's searching, but still yet we have patrol efforts going. So at this time, I will open it up and we will do our best to try to answer your questions.
Sheriff, he may be watching this. What is your message?
Well, my message would be, that we would ask that he would give himself up. And we're not going to quit until we do lay hands on him, and we was really hoping, maybe we wish that would have been last night. We was hoping today. We hope tonight. We hope tomorrow. But this effort is not going to stop. We've already got all the arrest warrants. The Commonwealth Attorney here has prepared that, looked over that. Everything's in place. So if we do lay hands on him, that we will take him into custody. So if he's watching, it would be his best interest to surrender and turn himself in. Hopefully, no more harm to no one else, or to the residents, or to our officers.
Sheriff, you seem to believe pretty fervently that he is still armed. I'm curious, was there any evidence that you found, maybe a second caliber round or something like that would indicate that this individual is carrying a... No, we're going on what we've been told. And like I say, it is open investigation. I really can't elaborate on that, but we have been told that. As far as knowing, we've not laid hands on him, we've not recovered no other weapons. That's just what we've been told, that we're passing on to you. Can I ask, what do you mean that's what you've been told?
We've been told by some outside sources that he could be armed, but we're not revealing that. We don't know. We cannot verify that. Like I said, we've not laid eyes on him or contacted him. We don't know, but we have been told. And that's the way we're going to treat it,
But these are sources, I'm sorry, no. But these are sources outside of, when you say outside sources outside of law enforcement?
Yes.
Do we know how he obtained the AR-15 firearm that he used, and how many other weapons he pulled?
He obtained a firearm at a local place here in London, but it was obtained, legally. He went through the ATF. He went through all the proper paperwork, and we have the paperwork. We have that paperwork, copies of the receipts. But that was obtained, if you're not a felon or something, if you can go in, you can fill the paperwork. Anyone can purchase the guns.
When was that?
That was yesterday.
Around what time was he doing the active search?
I think it was after dark, right at the edge of dark. But when you say conclude, it's like last night. At dark, we did conclude, but KSP had choppers up with FLIRs. We had drones with FLIRs, but it was right at dark today.
How big is the search area and how much has been searched?
I'll have somebody else will probably have to answer that. It's huge. in that area, you know, I know you guys have heard all day that it's just really, really rough terrain. A lot of cliffs, mountains. It's really rough terrain. I don't know. Has anybody got a better? There's thousands of acres. I mean, I can't tell you exactly how many. There's just thousands of acres. Yeah, it's a big area, very secluded. A lot of national forest land.
How many people?
I would say 150 plus. You know, I mean, I don't know if you can say actively searching. We have a lot of supervisors, you know, that's there. But probably the ground crews, I'd say it'd be safe to say, Captain, 40 to 50 maybe on searches. You know, just a rough estimate. I can't give you an exact number, but a large group.
What time will searches start tomorrow?
Probably. We're going to be meeting in the morning at 0800, and searches will start shortly after that.
What can you share about his background?
I'll have to let somebody else speak on that.
He's originally from the Knox-Whitley County area, and he does have a military background. He served in the National Guard for at least 4 years, and he was a member of the Engineer Battalion.
You guys mentioned that this area is large. Can you describe the terrain? Why is it so rugged?
I'll explain why last night was. So if you are getting off at exit 49, if you're coming southbound on the interstate and you look to your right, there's a cliff there, okay? And that cliff has a ledge on the top, and it has a ledge about 30 feet down. He was on a ledge about 30 feet down from the top of that cliff where he fired from. And that's characteristic of that entire area back there. So in order for me to find that this morning, when we located that site, I had to grab a tree and lean over and look. So that's impossible to do in the nighttime without falling off a cliff.
So aside from exit 45, are you guys canvassing any other areas?
I'm Master Trooper Scotty Pennington, Tennessee State Police. I'm the Public Affairs Officer here at the London Post. First, I want to thank everybody up here. The Sheriff's Department, City Police, ATF, they have worked tremendously hard at this effort, and this is why they've asked us to come in and help with the manhunt. There's no way that they can continue to do this and do it safely. So we've got 16 posts around the state police, and we've requested troopers from several different posts to come in and help with this manhunt. Around 1,600 hours tonight, Sheriff's requested the Kentucky State Police to come in and help with the manhunt. We activated around 20 to 25 troopers from other posts and our post, and about an hour after that, we went in and searched a very, when you say large area, for walking in a jungle, because that's what you're basically in, it's a large area. I mean, you actually need machetes and everything to get through these thickets of woods. And, you know, you can't do it very fast because you don't want to leave no rock unturned, and you don't know if he's in that area. So you got to be very slow-paced at what you do. So that's why we brought in all the extra resources. We will continue to stay in the area. Us, the Sheriff's Department, Rockcastle County Sheriff's Department, will be in this area, making sure the citizens in that community, they feel some kind of sense of security and safety. Just give us time, and hopefully we can resolve this in a timely manner, in a very quick manner. I'm open for any other questions. I hope I answered your question.
How concerned should residents be that there's this guy out there and he's most likely armed?
Well, I mean, you need to lock your doors. You need to, if you have security cameras, make sure you're constantly watching them. Maybe keep your porch lights on. Have communication, have your cell phone, and make sure your phones are charged up, because you never know when you might have to contact somebody or law enforcement, and we want those tips. Like the sheriff said, we want you to call us. Don't care if it's a county over, if it's a Dollar General store, you see somebody walking up down the interstate. We want you to call us, and we're going to answer those calls, no matter if it's a small road, it's a gravel road, it's a creek bed, it's the interstate. We're going to have officers and troopers and deputies in this area until morning breaks.
Do we have any idea how familiar he is with the area?
At this time, I don't know that information. There's a lot of smarter people than me behind the scenes working on things to try to find those answers. If maybe he's been in that area before, and that's technology that I don't know how to use, but we have resources that are trying to help us with that.
Know what his motive is yet?
I don't know what his motive is yet. That part is still under investigation by the Sheriff's Department.
To be clear, however, this was at random. He was up there shooting at people at random.
I don't know why anybody would go up there and start shooting at people. I can't get in somebody's brain of why they do something this crazy. But it's an act of violence, and innocent people have got hurt, and property damage as well. And for the people of Laurel County and Rockhouse County, I know they're at fear, and hopefully we're going to put it to ease soon.
Sir, there's an array of agencies represented on this platform here. I'm curious, was he on anyone's radar prior to this incident?
Not that I'm aware of, but the sheriff might be able to answer that better than I can. But no.
No, sir, no.
Have you spoken to his family, and if you have, what can you share about that?
I have not directly spoke to. That is part of the investigation that at this time we can't discuss, but that we have interviewed family members. The Sheriff's Department has, and they're doing a great job with it.
Are you concerned that you don't have enough manpower to find this guy?
That's not my concern. I think we will have plenty of manpower, and the state police work in conjunction with the Sheriff's Department. They're getting a break. They need a break. And when you're out there and you're away from your families, it's hot, it's cold. You got a lot of emotions going. You're away from your own loved ones. So sometimes you just need to step back, go catch a couple hours sleep, eat, and then get back in the fight. And we're going to take over and help them with that as long as they want us to.
Changing your strategy at all tomorrow?
Well, we have people that are a lot smarter than me that do this stuff pretty regularly. And, we will continue to use helicopters and drones, K-9s, search teams. We'll bring in fresh troopers, fresh officers from other agencies, and we'll work together to there's a lot of land out there. He explained it earlier like a jungle, but it's also ATV trails. There's trails everywhere back in there where side-by-sides and four-wheelers and trucks go and drive.
You mentioned you purchased this weapon yesterday. At what time was that?
Sheriff, you have to answer that.
I don't have the exact time. We have it. I don't have it with me. It was sometime yesterday morning.
So it was in the morning and then in the afternoon?
That's my understanding, yes, sir.
And was it just the weapon, or was it ammo as well?
It's the weapon and about 1,000 rounds of ammunition, most of which we have recovered.
You guys mentioned that you guys need a break from searching. How do you think he may be surviving out there?
We're still trying to ascertain how much preparation he put into this. We searched his house this evening. We have a lot of stuff from that, a lot of devices that we're going to download, that we're going to crack. We're going to get more information. But we can't rule out the fact that he could have committed suicide back there, and we have not found him yet.
Going back to his military experience, was there like an honorable discharge? Anything you can share about that?
I don't have that information.
The longer he's out there, are you worried about more lasting impacts? Like schools are already canceling tomorrow. As more time goes on, he's not found. What could that look like? More schools not having class the rest of the week.
I think at some point we're going to do everything we can do to catch this guy or find him. And the longer we continue and the more area we clear and the more places we are sure he is not, the safer people are going to feel. And I'm confident eventually we'll figure it out and we'll find him. But at this point, we're doing everything we can to find him at this point.
You guys mentioned that that he may not have been on anyone's radar. Can you just give us some insight? I think he did have some sort of, even if it's a small criminal record. Can you share what his record with law enforcement looks like?
It's minimal, my understanding right there.
Yeah, it's pretty. I ran a statewide criminal history on the date. It's very minimal. I think there was a dismissal or two, a traffic ticket. I think a domestic violence within the last 6 months. So I think there was a divorce action that was at some point also. There was nothing in his criminal history that made me think, oh, we should have known this was coming. It's just not there, very minimal.
But there was a domestic violence.
If I'm not mistaken, I saw, so it's kind of listed as a D case. If you're looking through court records, there was a D case. It could have been a divorce. And for some reason, I wanted to think I saw some type of emergency protective order at some point in time.
One thing that we would like to reiterate to the public in London and Laurel County, as the sheriff has said, is there's multiple agencies on the streets. Not only the London City Police, the Laurel Sheriff's Department. You may see the city police in the county. You may see the county in the city, the state troopers throughout the community. And plus we have other agencies from like Williamsburg, Jackson County that are assisting and helping patrol throughout the normal patrols in the county and in the city. So while we ask people to be vigilant throughout their homes or about their travels, just rest assured too, you have a lot of emergency services that are on the streets tonight, and we'll be continuing tomorrow as well. As far as the schools, we have been in talks with the superintendents in this area. We will continue to update the school systems as we get it from the Laurel County Sheriff's Office, and of course their priority is to keep our children safe. So it's going to be according to how the investigation goes leading in tonight and in tomorrow.
Any other questions?
We know we have 12 vehicles hit and multiple rounds in most of those vehicles, and I know from the brass that I saw this morning, 20 to 30 is my best guess, but I didn't count them, so that's about as good as I can do.
Just to clarify, 12 vehicles?
So, what you got to understand is we have the vehicles, the people that were shot were traveling in. There was also vehicles hit that were not, no one was injured in. And some of those vehicles got all the way home before they realized they had a bullet hole in them. So that number has climbed over the last 24 hours, and we're at about 12 right now.
So 12 vehicles hit by bullets?
Correct.
And I also just want to confirm with the number of victims, there was 5 victims with a gunshot and then 2 with car collision. They were injured because of maybe a car wreck. With a total of 7, or is that incorrect?
I know of 5 victims. I know nothing about a car wreck that was unrelated to the shooting.
You guys have anything?
My name is Michael Stansbury. I'm the special agent in charge for the FBI's Louisville field office. I just wanted to come up here and say for a minute that we certainly know that the impact this is having on the community here in Laurel County, that people are afraid right now. They certainly have a right to be. This thing doesn't happen every day. And, you know, when someone's driving down the freeway and then random shots start coming in, it is terrifying. But law enforcement, the FBI, the ATF, and everyone up here is doing everything they can to, one, solve this investigation, to make the case to prove that this individual is the one who, in fact, did this crime, but also to make sure that we apprehend him and get him into custody. And whether that is tomorrow or tonight, tomorrow, or next week, we're not going to stop on this case until we do find him and we take him into custody. I will say that on the FBI's part, what we are here for is to, one, assist the Laurel County Sheriff's Department with the investigation, and 2, also assist the Kentucky State Police with the apprehension. We have essentially 4 types of elements out right now. First and foremost, we have investigators. We do have an office here in London with investigators. Them, and along with our agents from the Lexington office, have been down here and are working side by side with the Laurel County Sheriff's investigators, conducting interviews, collecting evidence, and trying to work as diligently as they can to solve this case. We also have our evidence recovery team that's been helping the Sheriff's Department at the crime scenes recover the evidence, package it, process it, and assisting with the search warrants to make sure we can analyze that and get them everything they need to prosecute this case. And then next, we have a tactical component. Our Special Weapons and Tactics team is out actually working with KSP to try and find this individual. This does take specialized training, special agents, and law enforcement officers with the skills and the equipment to traverse this. We just can't put any agent out there walking through the woods and safely trying to apprehend this individual. So we're working hard with that. And then finally, our Victim Services Division is working with the victims that are in the hospitals around the area, working with them and their families, trying to do everything we can to support them. So we will be here until this case is, until, you know, this individual is in custody or he's found. So with that, are there any questions y'all would have for me?
You listed him as a person of interest for quite some time today, but I'm curious, what was the linchpin that kind of took this over to officially put him as a suspect?
I think the evidence that we recovered at the scene pretty much locks that down. I don't want to go into, as the sheriff said, of all the evidence that we've collected, because there is a case that if we do catch this individual, the Commonwealth Attorney is going to have to prosecute him. So we don't want to obviously try this case in the media, but we do have solid evidence. As the sheriff said, his vehicle was at the scene. A firearm that he purchased yesterday was at the scene. I am confident that his fingerprints will be found on that firearm. His DNA will be found on that firearm. And there is other evidence from, as the sheriff said, witnesses we've talked to about statements he's made and things he's said. So we've got the evidence, we believe, to put forth that he did this. So we're pretty confident we have the right individual.
Can you elaborate? What do you mean statements that he made?
To other people, things he has said to other people.
About wanting to.
All I will say, I don't want to go into the detail of exactly what he said. All I will say is statements he's made, interviews people about his state of mind and what he wanted to do. We have interviewed people. We feel pretty confident that this is the individual.
Do you feel like you're dealing with somebody who is well equipped to stay out in the woods for a while? Is there any indication that he's an avid camper
I don't know that, I know the information that we have. I don't know that I would want to just give that all out here right now because one is, I think you said earlier, he could be watching this right now, and we certainly don't want to tip our hand on everything that we're doing and everything that we know about him.
Do you think that he has communication with us?
It's possible, but I do not know at this time if he has one with him or not. All right, I'll look over you, Sheriff. Thank you.
Got anything you want to elaborate on?
I'm Major Eric Walker, Kentucky State Police. Just wanted to reassure everyone that Kentucky State Police, at the request of Sheriff Root, has undertaken the steps to move forward with the manhunt portion of this in conjunction with other tactical resources that we have available through the state and our federal partners. We have a plan in place that we'll execute tomorrow, not to rehash. The citizens of the Commonwealth here in this locale can be assured that state police resources have been brought to bear. There will be routine patrols in the area, and we have ensured that we've got troops from other post areas brought into the area. So there's adequate manpower to ensure safety in the community. Any questions? Thank you.
Let me clear something up. I misspoke earlier, and I want to make sure you guys have the accurate information. It was a condition of his bond not to have contact with the victim on a terroristic threatening charge. That terroristic threatening charge was dismissed. It was not a domestic violence order, so I misspoke on that. As soon as I stepped back, I thought, I think I missed that. So I want to clear that up. There's no domestic violence order in his past that we can see in Kentucky. But there was a terroristic threatening charge that was dismissed in Knox County.
Could you give us your name, please?
Say it again.
Your name, please.
My name is Jackie Steele. I'm the Commonwealth Attorney for Laurel and Knox County, 27th Judicial Circuit.
But you learned about the threatened charge through his divorce proceedings?
No. Take that part. I know there's issues that they're talking to some people. I don't think they were married. That's when I stepped back. I wanted to check again. So I'm not going to speak as to exactly the territory threatening charges underlying. I don't know the facts to that. So I'm not going to speak to the facts to it. I do know there was conditions bond, not any contact with the victim, and that's where I misunderstood it and misspoke. Any other questions, guys? For me? That would have been in Knox, Kansas this year. Give me 1 second. I think it was
326-24.
326. Thank you. Jody Albright, the county attorney here in Laurel County.
Yeah, I'm Jody Albright, the Laurel County attorney. I just want to say to the citizens of Laurel County and the surrounding areas, even this morning when we were at church, we saw a state trooper in our parking lot. There is a greatly increased law enforcement presence in Laurel County as we speak presently. I also have, at the UK game, I was at the UK game last night or yesterday afternoon and didn't get to enjoy that game for a couple of reasons, but one was that my phone started blowing up. And it is amazing the outpouring of support from different counties, my fellow county attorneys, Commonwealth attorneys, elected officials. I've had contact from KCO officials who have offered support and wanted me to, when I had a chance, and I'll take that chance right now, to encourage our local law enforcement and to thank them for all that they do. So I want to thank each and every one of you officers and elected officials for all you do in keeping Laurel County safe. I understand that people are afraid. I get that. But there are no finer law enforcement officers and first responders than there are here in Laurel County. And we do need to be vigilant. You need to be constantly on the lookout until this passes. But rest assured that everything that can be done is being done. Rest assured that once this individual is captured and taken into custody, that he will be prosecuted, and I have utmost faith in our Commonwealth Attorney Jackie Steele and our judicial system that he will be brought to justice and justice will be served. But please understand that what they're talking about. As a young man, as I was out in that area, Cromer Ridge area, it is a vast area. He could be there for a long time. If he's still alive, he could be there for a long time. We don't know. But I have utmost confidence if he is in this area, he will be found and brought to justice. So, and I would also reiterate that if anybody has information, please bring that information forward now. No tip is too small, and please share that. You don't know, that tip may be the tip that solves the case or brings him to justice. So any questions from, I guess, for myself or Jackie Steele on the legal aspect of this case? Good, thanks.
Okay, guys, in closing, I just want to reiterate to the residents of this county that you can see the guys that's representing each agency on this stage and myself that we're doing everything that we can do. And like I say, just be confident. And I want to thank the people for everything from a prayer to we've had lunches, we've had water, we've had phone calls, we've had tips, and that's exactly what we want you to continue to do. But we are out in full force, and I'm confident, as JL said, that this guy will be brought to justice and he will be located soon. And I thank you guys. Thank you.
All right, listening there to the latest update from investigators down in Laurel County, Kentucky, as they continue their search for this man. He is the suspect accused of shooting at multiple vehicles on the I-75 in Kentucky late Saturday evening. It's a story that we did bring to you here live as we continue to cover all of the latest. So that is 32-year-old Joseph Couch being called the person of interest and the suspect in this case. Really what we learned from this latest briefing was that the victims in this incident are expected to be okay. Approximately 12 vehicles were shot and 5 people were wounded during that incident Saturday evening in London, Kentucky. On I-75, investigators are focused on an area near exit 49. The firearm that was used and recovered at the scene was legally purchased by the suspect just yesterday before that incident went down. He does have a military background and served in the National Guard, and he apparently fired from the ledge off the top of a cliff. They are warning residents in the areas to lock their doors and make sure that their phones are fully charged. They are appreciating all of the assistance and any tips as they continue their search. Now, they have paused their search throughout this evening because they are looking through some very rough terrain, but it will continue tomorrow morning at around 8 a.m. local time. The motive for that shooting still under investigation.
Update on your progress?
I can. We have numerous individuals that are still searching in the wooded area up there. The ATF, FBI, and Marshal Service, their ERTs, which is evidence recovery team or something, they're there to help us process what we've got so far. And what we have thus far is last night we recovered the suspect's vehicle in that area. That's why he is a person of interest. The vehicle comes back registered to him. So that recovery was made late last night, and that's why we had the information that we had. Today, just in the last few minutes, we located an AR-15. It's going to be processed, and it is in a wooded area next to the interstate, in a location that he could have shot down upon the interstate from that wooded location. Questions?
Can you give us any details about where you found the vehicle?
It's on a Forest Service road at the top of the hill off of exit 49, down another little trail off of that Forest Service road, very near the interstate, but not close enough that the person of interest could have fired from that location. He's had to walk on over toward the interstate, which is where we recovered the weapon at.
What kind of car?
It's I think they said it was a silver-colored Honda CRX or CRV or something of that sort, a smaller SUV style type vehicle.
He's still considered a person of interest?
Yeah, for now. I think we can deduce that he's a suspect, but we'll still say person of interest at this point.
Based on the bullet fragments, do you believe that the AR-15 was the weapon that was used to, shoot into the interstate, or could there be a different, firearm that's still?
No, we believe this was the weapon.
How many bullets did you find in the vehicle? I mean, were there more rounds that he hadn't used yet in the vehicle?
No, there was a gun case and not a weapon, and that gun case was in there last night when we recovered the vehicle, so we were fairly confident that we were in the right direction on this case.
Anything else noteworthy in the vehicle?
No, nothing else.
Do you know who the weapon was registered to?
Not at this time, no.
You still believe him to be armed?
He could possibly be, yes.
But you have the AR-15 that was used?
We did. That we believe to have been used. We'll have to let ballistics tell us whether it was or was not. There were several magazines there as well, fully charged magazines.
But he may have another weapon on him.
He could very easily have another weapon, yes, that's correct.
Anything else that you've discovered during your search today to indicate that, like pieces of clothing or anything that he's there in the woods somewhere?
No, not really. And again, as I stated earlier today, the woods are so thick there, and it's such a remote area. It's slow going.
It's your theory that he dropped this AR-15 after the shooting and just ran?
We're speculating on that. We're not sure quite why that he would abandon his weapon and magazines.
Was the weapon loaded when you found it?
They haven't touched it because they want the federal people that are there to process the scene.
Was there a magazine in the rifle?
I can't address it. I'm not sure.
How far was the weapon from the vehicle?
Some distance.
You mentioned earlier there was a lucky break. I imagine the car was part of this lucky break.
That was a huge lucky break because that gave us a suspect to start looking for.
How did you come upon the car?
Good police work. We were in the woods up there looking, trying to figure out before it got dark where somebody could have been up there, and we stumbled upon it. So just good police work.
Are the dogs able to use that vehicle for scent?
I can't address that. I'm not sure.
Do you feel like the search is going well? Like
I think it's wonderful that we found a weapon. I think that shows everyone that we're headed in the right direction, that there is a suspect possibly still there. At this point, we don't know whether we're getting reports that he could be elsewhere, but we're still going on the premise that he's up there in the woods.
So you found the weapon in the last 2 hours?
Yes, in the last hour. Yes, ma'am.
What else was in the car?
Just nothing else noteworthy, just that gun case.
Could you repeat? You said that he could be elsewhere, so he could potentially not be in that.
Well, we're not gonna rule that out. That's not good police work. I mean, we hope and we believe that he's up there. That's why we're saturating that area. But we are looking in other directions just to err, to be safe. We don't want to rule that out, is what I'm saying.
Has anyone called in saying that they've seen anyone that looks like him or that picture?
We probably had 100 or more calls all over this county and all over Whitley County that we've seen him. We saw him in at Kroger's. We've been bombarded with those calls, and that's fine because maybe one of them will pan out and we'll get the guy safely, and none of our people will get hurt.
And you do have assets that are pursuing those leads?
Yes, ma'am.
But for now, you believe that he is on foot.
We still believe that he's up there in the woods.
Are you still confident you get him today?
I hope so.
You were confident this morning. Has it been decreasing throughout the day?
No, I think with us finding a weapon, that's a positive note. I think we're headed in the right direction.
With it being midday, this is a Sunday school, it's, coming Monday morning, courthouses, city offices. Do you expect any closures? Do you advise anything like that? I know right now, you kind of mentioned like residents should remain vigilant on the surroundings. What do you kind of advise?
I think that we just need to wait and see right now. And that's why I got you folks here, and that's why you got me here, is so that we can keep everybody, the public, informed, because that's what we should do. And I think we can address that later on today, just depending on what happens and how it goes.
Have you or your partners been able to conduct any interviews with his family members or any people close to the person?
I'm sure that's being addressed. Please.
Any idea of motive yet?
No, there's been some speculation, but we're not ready to address that at this point.
Did you tell any surrounding businesses or churches not to open today?
There were a lot of churches that did not open today, and again, I think they were erring on the side of caution because we think he's still there, but what if he's not?
Is the suspect still alive?
Don't know that either. It could be either way. Anything else? We still believe we only have one individual that's involved in this. Yes, ma'am.
I know I asked you this before, but no indication of any sort of road rage.
No, this is not a road rage incident. I mean, you got 5 different victims that have been shot. One's from Kentucky, the rest from out of state. No, it's a random act.
Any updates on those victims? Have any of them been released from the hospital?
I haven't heard that, but again, we feel like that with them being reported as stable last night, that's going to be a good outcome.
Have you been able to search the entire kind of sealed off area of Future Forest, or is there still
No, there's a lot to do up there, and it's so slow going. What if he's hiding behind a tree? I mean, we don't want our people to get hurt, so we're being very cautious, but doing our job. Okay, I will be back here at 3 o'clock, and hopefully we'll have something more and good like we have just now. The only update that we have is we're upgrading this individual from person of interest due to the totality of everything that we've developed so far to a suspect in this case.
What specifically was involved in escalating that?
The recovery of the vehicle, the recovery of the weapon, and some information that I cannot disclose with you.
Where did that information come from?
Our investigation, and that's about the best I can do for you on that. I wish I could give you more, but we don't want to damage our case, so we're going to have to hold off on some informations.
Is there a note in the car?
No.
What is the thought that he's still at the scene up there or in that area?
We're going on that premise, but you know that's why we got to say this. He might not be there, and what if he's not there? Then we got to get the word out that he could be somewhere else. At this time, yes, we believe that he's still up in that area.
You believe he spent the night out there, sir?
Yes.
What is your biggest challenge your search teams are facing right now?
The area, it's so remote. If he planned this, it's so remote. That's probably one of the most remote exits along I-75. It's so wooded. There's one business. There's no residences. He couldn't have picked an area that is any more remote and difficult for us to try to locate him. And that's what we want to do. We want to safely. We don't want our guys to get hurt. We don't want any more of the public to be hurt. And we want to take him into custody safely, and it's a big task. They've just come out of the woods. They've been in the woods for several hours now. They have all this garb on that we wear, that our special response people wear, and it may be a little bit cool right here, right now, but it's not to them. They've come out to rest, and they're going to go right back in. We want to get him tonight. We want to get him before it gets dark again, but no promises. You know, we're going to do our very best.
Do you think that was part of his plan? One of the reasons why he chose this area?
Probably. It's very, very, very remote. The trees, you almost bump into a tree every 2 or 3 feet. It's just that way, and it's difficult, and it's tedious because we have to look behind every tree because what if he's there? Okay.
Is the drone still being used? I know that there was challenges.
Our drone is still the Laurel County Rescue Squad is up there with their drone. Also, there's a helicopter that's in the area also.
Has the aerial, sensors or detectors been helped at all? I know that the kind of help was very limited.
Yeah, not thus far. Thus far, it hasn't been. But we got to try everything. And we're going to use all the tools that we can possibly, because we want this to be a good outcome. We want to be safe, and we want everybody else to be safe as well, and we want to take the suspect alive.
And talking about the severity of the victim's injuries, we heard that one person was shot through their windshield and ultimately shot in the face. Can you confirm that?
There were some severe injuries. There was an individual that was shot in the face. There was another individual that was shot in the arm, a very severe injury. Those were the most severe. A lady shot across the chest. They were very significant, very severe injuries. I don't want to lessen that. We didn't have a fatality, but we certainly had some very serious injuries that will affect these people for the rest of their life, I'm sure.
Yeah, have y'all developed any information yet as to why this guy might have done this? I don't know if you've been able to talk to
We are receiving some informations in our investigation, but a determination has not been made thus far as to what a motive would be.
Is his family cooperating with your investigators?
As far as I know, they are. They're not in this county. They're actually in another county, but you got to know that we're also down there checking things out.
All 5 victims were shot.
Yes. Yes.
Are there additional 2 that were injured?
I heard that, but I've never been able to confirm that. So I'm just going to say we haven't been able to confirm that at this point, but we don't believe so.
Sir, all the shots were fired from that hillside, do you think?
Yes.
You wasn't out on the overpass?
No. There were early reports, and I can't stress how chaotic this was when our units arrived on the scene. People, cars on the side of the road, emergency flashers, windows shot out, people hurt severely, and then we had to weed through that, and then we have to weed through some informations that we developed off that exit, and a lot of it was erroneous, but we had to follow up on it, and it deterred us from being where we needed to be, but we're on focus right now, and it's just a really big marathon task to investigate and handle something like this, especially with an exit such as that along I-75.
Can you describe what the vehicle was found? Was it a service road?
It's a U.S. Forest Service road that is actually off of that exit. It goes off into the woods, and they tell me that it goes 9 to 11 miles back in there, and there's little offshoots or branches off of that, and that's where I think they said it was the first branch off of that Forest Service road. At the top of the hill is where we actually recovered his vehicle.
What kind of vehicle was the trace of?
Please?
Are you finding any trace of them? Footprints? Anything?
Not to my knowledge. Yes.
What kind of vehicle was it?
It was a CRV, and it was whatever a CRV is. That's what it was, and it was silver colored, and it was registered to our suspect.
Now that he's officially a suspect, is there any other detail that you can share about his past, criminal history?
No, not really. Again, I'm sure we're going to look very much in depth with all of that, but our main focus right now is get this guy under arrest. We don't want nightfall to set in again, and it's already afternoon right now.
Are you using K9s?
K9, yeah. KSP said they were going to bring K9s. I don't personally know that they are there, but they did offer, and I think that we said bring them on down.
Can you share a picture of the weapon or the vehicle?
No, I don't have a picture, and I'm not sure. As quick as I can get those sorts of things, because when I leave here, I'm coming back at 5. I'm going to see what they'll allow me access to, because they don't even allow me the access that you think that they do. But they're getting the information to me as they can. It's just that this is not the most important thing. The most important thing is finding that guy.
As the time progresses, is it getting more challenging to find him?
Well, you got to know that these guys are getting tired in the woods, and it's like I say, with all this garb that they have to wear, it's very tedious and stressful. We're going to keep on plugging because that's what we do.
What do you want the public to know?
That this guy, we think that he's still in that area, but he could not be in that area. He could be somewhere else, anywhere else. So we posted his picture. Be aware, be vigilant, be aware of your surroundings. We don't want this guy hopping in a car with somebody armed with a weapon. And all of these are scenarios that could happen. Do we think they will? We hope not. But we really still believe at this point that he's still up there. So just public, stay away from that area. We had some people try to sneak through today, even a media or two, and they were escorted out of the area. It's an unsafe area. It just is, because we don't know where he's at.
Anything else you'd like to share that we haven't already asked?
That's about it. That's all that's new right now. I'm going to go. I can't really get a feel for what's going on sitting in my office, and that's what I've had to do in the last little bit to get some updated press releases out. But I'm going to the scene, and the next time I come back, I will have been up there, and hopefully I'll have some more updates for you, okay?